Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the King Fan Man, and this is the Kingcast, the live podcast where we cover all things Bethesda. And today we've got an absolutely fantastic show. We're going to be talking about the Xbox Showcase, of course, which is coming up tomorrow. And we're going to be talking specifically first about what we may see from Bethesda and Bethesda Game Studios. And then we'll go into some of the other games that are probably going to make a show and the ones especially that I'm excited for. But I also want to hear the ones that you guys are excited for as well. So it's going to be a jam packed show today. Remember a few things. First, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Please, it'd be great. I do all kinds of videos, live streams, and if you love Bethesda, you've come to the right channel. So hit that subscribe button. Also, take just a little bit of time and hit the like button, if you will. That does help the stream and it helps the channel in a lot of ways. And then lastly, if you're able and you have the willingness to support this channel, there's several ways that you can do it that help me continue to do this kind of work. One, you can join my Patreon. The link to that is in the description below. I've got some great Patreons, and man, y'all don't know how much I appreciate you guys every month. Y'all get us through, and I mean that 100%. And then also, you can be a channel member, which gets you a pretty little crown on the side of your name in the chat bar. And we're going to do some unique things here in the future. And it also will get you a t shirt when the queen gets them done. And lastly, the super stickers and super chats are open so you can support the stream that way as well. Speaking of that, I will, yes, always answer your comments and your questions because this is a subscriber driven podcast. So please comment and give your questions, and we will talk about the Xbox Showcase and what we can expect from Bethesda and some other games as well that are coming. One last reminder before we get into the show, I just put out 2 videos this week. Go give them a look after the stream, of course. One is who is going to make the next Fallout game. We may talk about that later in the podcast, but please go look at that. It may surprise you. And then the other one, the one that I just did, was a podcast with Joey Caps Gaming talking about the 14 details we may already know about the Elder Scrolls 6. And there's some pretty cool things there. So y'all go check that out. Kane says they're well worth a watch. I appreciate that, Kane. So go check them out. YouTube, since my health is not great and I don't put out enough videos, YouTube really penalizes me. Uh, I had one a couple of 3 weeks ago that hit 14,000, and then my one yesterday, I think it's around 500. I mean, that shows you that it's just weird. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. But YouTube will penalize you if you don't put out enough videos, and that's what they do with me because my health hadn't been good. All of that aside, let's jump into. Oh, Queen wanted me to remind y'all Walter is here. If you give a super chat or super sticker, if you're a longtime person of the channel, you know exactly what that means. Okay, things that we absolutely know about the showcase. I'm going to get into Bethesda first, but I want to talk about 2 games first in the Xbox Showcase that are not Bethesda games that we know are going to be there and that I'm super excited for. Again, through the stream, tell me ones you're excited for. We'll talk about those if you want, and I'm going to kind of give you my predictions of what I think we'll see at the show. Number one, of course, we know the Outer Worlds 2 is going to be there. It has a special place in the show, just like Starfield did a couple of years ago. And I'm excited for this one. I love Obsidian's work. I liked Avowed. I can't say I loved it, but I liked Avowed, and I liked the Outer Worlds. This one is supposed to be promising even more, a bigger world, and to me, it looks better than the Outer Worlds, the original Outer Worlds. So I'm really excited about the Outer Worlds too. I love Obsidian's writing. That's what they do best, the choice and consequence. So I can't wait for the Outer Worlds too. And of course, being a full separate showcase, we're going to see gameplay. Obviously, we've already seen some, but we should see deep gameplay. We should see developer interviews, and we should, I'm hoping, get a release date for the Elder Scrolls 2 tomorrow. That would be absolutely great. Another game that I'm excited for. Now, this one won't be coming this year. The Outer Worlds 2 will be coming this fall, I believe. But another one, I believe we're going to get it 2026, but we will see it tomorrow. And it is In Exile Studios Clockwork Revolution. I don't know how much y'all know about this game or this studio, but the studio head is Brian Fargo, who used to work on Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. So you know a little bit about him. He's also done the Wastelander series. In Exile did the Wastelander series. It's a top down, but man, some great writing and some great gameplay. If you've never played Wasteland 1 or 2, you need to go back and try those. But Clockwork Revolution goes into 3D, so they've moved it up from top down to now 3D, and we're going to see a awesome RPG that looks a lot to me like BioShock type uh, environment. It kind of has a mix between. It's got that punk. What's it called? But it's kind of like the Dishonored universe. But it also has, like I said, the feel of BioShock too. If you like took BioShock and Dishonored and put them together, that's what steampunk. Thank you, Kane. Sometimes when you get here with the screen pointing at you, like yesterday, I couldn't think of boundary. You know, the boundary of two states. Anyway, hey James, I need to say hi to some. Jeremy, hey Jeremy, hey for being here. Hey James, y'all notice Jeremy's got that big crown there. Thank you for being a channel member, Jeremy, and supporting the channel. You do great. JD, how's it going? And somebody else, Uncensored. Hey, what's going on? The Area Uncensored is here. So anyway, Clockwork Revolution, I'm super excited about this one. We can come back and talk about this in a minute. I know most of y'all are interested in Bethesda, so we're going to hit Bethesda first. What are we going to see from Bethesda and Bethesda Game Studios? Well, first off, I will say there have been no leaks this year, which is amazing. No leaks, so we really don't know. I mean, it's all guesswork. I don't care who you're watching on YouTube, they're guessing what's going to be on the showcase. Other than the Outer Worlds 2, we don't know anything. But I think there's some pretty good things that we can be assured are going to be there. And by the way, before I get into Bethesda, I want to just say this is the time of year. This is the old E3, and I don't know about y'all, but I miss E3. I really do. I got the opportunity to go to Los Angeles and E3 several years ago, and it was magnificent. And I think it's not good for the game world that E3's gone. I hope someday it comes back, but that's just my opinion. I really miss it. But I love this time of year when the showcase comes. I used to love, I mean, E3 is like gamers' Christmas, and this is what this time of year still is, but I kind of miss that. Okay, Bethesda. Let's talk about, there's 4 projects I want to talk about with Bethesda, and then we'll get into Bethesda Game Studios. So we're talking about Bethesda Softworks starting out. The number one thing I hope we see, and it's time to see it, is Project Kestrel from ZeniMax Online Studios. That was, if you remember, that was on the leaked court document called Project Kestrel. It is a upcoming MMO. This is what we know for sure. Okay, it is a coming up MMO. Boy, I can't talk today. That is a new IP. Okay, for ZeniMax. It's a new IP for ZeniMax, so it's not ESO. Of course, that's what they're famous for. So what is it? Nobody knows. There's been no leaks. Nobody knows. This is my prediction. My prediction is it's going to be a Starfield type MMO, and it may just be named Starborn. We talked about this a little bit last week on the Kingcast, but ZeniMax trademarked the name Starborn a couple of years ago, and people thought, hey, that's going to be a DLC for Starfield. And it may be, but I really, really think from the beginning they thought Starfield was going to be a bigger hit, and they said, we're going to make a multiplayer game alongside the single player game instead of putting them together. Uh, instead of Bethesda Game Studios doing a multiplayer like they did with Fallout 76, I believe they pre-planned for ZeniMax to do the Starfield online. So it's made in the same universe as Starfield. So I think we may hear, that's a maybe, hearing from ZeniMax, but it's time. I mean, we've been hearing about this IP coming for a long, long time. Number two, I think we'll get DLC for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I think that's pretty. I think we can pretty much be assured we're going to see that. We'll probably get DLC from Doom, the Dark Ages. Now, the other maybe, and I think it's a less maybe than ZeniMax Online Studios MMO, is hearing from Arcane Studios. Arcane Studios is working on, we know they're working on, it says a new IP, and we know it's Blade. Now, I don't know how many of y'all are excited for Blade from Arcane Studios. I love Arcane Studios. They're probably my second favorite studio. They are the studio of Dishonored. They are the studio of Prey. If you haven't played these games, y'all need to go play them. They are absolutely wonderful. But as far as Blade goes, I think next year is the time for Blade, not this year. Some people are projecting that it's going to be there. We might see a teaser trailer from Blade, but next year is the year. Let me read some of the comments. Again, y'all remember the comments and chats are open. Leave your questions, comments through this because I will let y'all drive the show. JD says, hoping we get another Bethesda mobile game, maybe another Fallout kind of game focused on lore. That would be absolutely great. Y'all know Japan got a new Fallout shelter a long time ago that was an upgrade to the original Fallout shelter. I was wondering if they were ever going to bring that to the United States, but we haven't heard what Montreal, which is their mobile studio, has been working on for a long time. So, but yes, JD, Todd Howard did say there's 4 Fallout projects in the works. So could one of those be a mobile game? I don't think so, because I think I can name the projects that are in the works, not counting Fallout 5 because it's not in the works yet. But I believe there's a Fallout spinoff game in the works. That's what one of my videos covers, who will make the next Fallout game. I absolutely 100% believe there's a Fallout spinoff game that's going to be coming in the next 2 to 3 years. Obviously, Fallout 3 is being remade by Virtuous Studios, the same one that did the Oblivion remaster. I believe it's on the way. Can you count Fallout 76 or the Fallout TV show? Probably Todd was counting either one or two of them at least. And then the other one, I think that's just I mean, if they don't do this, I don't know. I don't know what to think about Bethesda and Microsoft. If they do not remake or remaster Fallout New Vegas along with the TV show, they are absolutely crazy. Now, I know Bethesda might not care as much. They published Fallout New Vegas, but they didn't develop it, so there wouldn't be as much money coming to them. But again, Microsoft is making the decisions now. And of course, Obsidian is under Microsoft as well. So I just see a Fallout New Vegas remaster, remake as just a no-brainer in the future. I think we'll get the Fallout 3 first, and I believe we'll even get the Fallout spinoff before it, but they absolutely have to do Fallout New Vegas. So that's the 4 Fallout projects I believe that are in the works. Kane says Clockwork Revolution looks amazing. It does. I hope we get at least a release date window for that. Jeremy says not this fall as a shadow drop, being probably talking about the Outer Worlds too. I believe it will be this fall, but I don't think it'll be a shadow drop. I think they're going to tell us it'll probably be a holiday thing. And that Kane says we might see something from Blade. I would love that from Arcane Studios. And then Dane, let me see. James, by the way, welcome back. I hadn't seen you in a while. It's great for you to be here. Kane says Fallout games in the works: Fallout 3 remaster, New Vegas remaster, Fallout on Prime, and possibly a Fallout 4 remaster, or remaking the older Fallout games. If they, by the way, if they don't fix Fallout 4, what are they doing? Fallout 4 is still in an absolute mess since their remaster of Fallout 4. Speaking of the older games, Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, it is so interesting, and this may be the Fallout spinoff that's coming, okay? Because I know they have talked to both Brian Fargo and I can never remember the guy's name from Obsidian, but the head of Obsidian also worked on the original Fallout as well. His name's hard to pronounce anyway. That's probably why I forget it. But Microsoft have talked to both of these studios about a Fallout project. Wouldn't it be interesting? And this is just throwing something out there. Wouldn't it be interesting if both studios, Obsidian and Exile, worked together to remake Fallout 1 and Fallout 2? That would be, because you have the lead guys there from Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. Wouldn't that be great? Kane says, I think the reason that Fallout 4 has not been fixed is because Microsoft decided to go forward with the remaster. Absolutely. Seeing what Obsidian did, or seeing what Virtuous did with Oblivion, I think Microsoft made a decision right after that. Yep, we know how we can make some money remaking the Bethesda Game Studios games that are in a condition to remake. And what I mean by that, they have to be new enough that you can just port them over and then do the Unreal 5 graphics on top of that, and you can change the little systems. That's not near the work of a total remake. You go back to something like Morrowind. Now, Morrowind, see, may be too old to get that remastered treatment. They would almost have to remake Morrowind. But Fallout New Vegas, absolutely there. Fallout 3, absolutely there. Fallout 4 is there. I believe it would be pushed later. And then even, guys, you're going to laugh at this. Y'all are going to laugh, but Skyrim will get that treatment in the future. Yes, we are going to get another release of Skyrim. So isn't that crazy? Well, since we're talking about Bethesda Game Studios, let's jump on to Bethesda Game Studios. That's the games, by the way. That's the 4 things I think we might see from ZeniMax. You've got id covered with the DLC from Doom. That's what they're working on. They're not able to show anything else. You've got Machine Games with the Indiana Jones DLC, so they're not really able to work on anything else. ZeniMax showing their MMO Project Kestrel, which I think is the Starfield type MMO. And then Arcane Studios is working on Blade. So we know what they're all working on and what they may show. We don't have remember, Microsoft closed one of the Arcane Studios, and they also closed Tango Gameworks, so we don't have to look for them anymore. By the way, Tango did reopen. I just heard they did reopen and are starting on a project, so they're not under Bethesda anymore, not under Microsoft, but Tango Gameworks is back, so we may get in some of their great games. You know, they were going to be working on Ghostwire Tokyo 2, and then I always forget the name of the game, The Evil Within. What is the one they do? The horror game that they're very famous for. So if you're a fan of those games, you might see those. Okay, Bethesda Game Studios. What are we going to see from Bethesda Game Studios in the Xbox Showcase tomorrow? Number one, we better see, and I mean this from my heart, we better see a Starfield DLC. and it better be a good one. And the reason for that is Starfield is literally dying, and it needs some good news. They've had one update in Starfield this year, one update, and it was a really meaningless update. The only content we've gotten for Starfield this year has been creations. So if Starfield doesn't get a DLC announcement, then, you know, wow. Hey, Lady Braven, good to see you again. Hadn't seen you in a while either. They are dead, sir. Uh, who's dead? Tell me who's dead, and we'll talk about that. So the Starfield DLC, possibly we might even hear of the Sony port for DLC. How many of you are Sony players, PlayStation players? Hopefully, we'll get that news as well tomorrow about Starfield. I think it's been plenty long. I think a year was long enough. Uh, I don't like total exclusive games. Timed exclusives. Oh, all of Microsoft Studios. I got you. I got you. I think a year is plenty for the timed exclusives. I understand doing a time exclusive, and I think that's okay. Um, and by the way, Bethesda has done timed exclusive with Xbox even long before they were a part of Microsoft. So I see that as fine. But it's been well long enough for you PlayStation fans to get Starfield. Absolutely. I think a year is long enough. So hopefully tomorrow we'll see a Starfield DLC and the Sony port coming to Starfield. That would be absolutely great, fantastic news if that happened. From Fallout 76, John Rush said he is going to be at the Microsoft Showcase and he will be presenting Fallout 76 stuff. That's the good news. The bad news is he said on X that he's going to be showing the fishing that's already there. He don't need to show that. We need to hear what's coming from Fallout 76 this fall. So I of course I don't think he can really come out and say that. So I'm hoping we see something new, or they're planned at least for the fall and winter for Fallout 76. And I really think if they're going to do that, if they're working on something, which I know they are, what I hope it is another expansion to the base map. I don't want an expedition. I don't want more events. I want another expansion to the map the way we had with Skyline Valley. I thought that was a huge success, and they need to do that some more. I want to see some more of the area in and around West Virginia. If you want to go further into Virginia, that's great. If you want to go up into Pennsylvania, if you want to go, over more toward Washington, D.C., any of that would be great. Just expand the map more. But if you do it, now this is one of my keys, and I love the fishing too, Lady Braven. I really do. And by the way, if you haven't tried fishing in Fallout 76, it's not like the fishing in Skyrim where you just throw out your pole and you get the fish. There's actually some skill involved, and the bigger fish are a booger to catch on the light bait and light line. You really have to improve your reel and your line, and it's still hard to catch some of those bigger fish. So give it a try. I think you might enjoy it. But I think Fallout 76 really needs to extend the map again. I think that was very, very well received from the fans. So I think they need to do that. Kane says since Virtuous was able to prove that the creation engine can work well with Unreal, I think the orders for games from Bethesda going forward will be to use both. I have thought about that, Kane, thought about the possibility of them using, even with the Elder Scrolls 6, seeing what I know y'all probably saw the Witcher demonstration the other day with Unreal 5, and man, it was absolutely gorgeous. I'm not a huge Witcher fan. I mean, I enjoyed the game. I played the game. I've watched a little bit of the show, but nothing like I am a Bethesda fan. But man, The Witcher 4 looks like it's going to be amazing, with the amount that what they did with the NPCs, what they did with the towns. If they pull off what they were saying and what they were showing in the demonstration, The Witcher 4 is going to be absolutely amazing because it looks gorgeous. So, saying that, I wonder if, and Kane is saying this, do you think, since Virtuous Studios has proved that the Unreal Engine works with the Creation Engine, would Bethesda Game Studios ever use the Creation Engine just for graphics? In other words, they get their game, the base game, the way they want, and then they up the graphics with the Unreal 5. Could they even do that with the Elder Scrolls 6? And I believe it's absolutely yes. The only things that might hold them back to use the Unreal. Uh, Also, mods. Mods is going to be a big thing as well. How well, I know people are already modding Oblivion, but how well can you mod a new Bethesda Game Studios games if it has the Unreal 5 engine with it? In other words, the Creation Engine is still there, it's still the guts, but the Unreal Engine is there for graphics. Can you Is there an ease of modding? Can you do the big mods? I think that's also the other question. So if Bethesda can answer those two questions, yes, I see them using the Unreal 5 engine just as a upgrade for their graphics in the future. Uh, so yes. So we will see Fallout 76 at the Xbox Showcase. Hopefully we'll see what's coming this fall and this winter. Now on to the biggie in the room. Speaking of the Elder Scrolls 6, I have been floored that Juicehead, Maddie, Colt Eastwood, several bigger names out there that are saying they believe that the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to make a showing at the Xbox Showcase. In fact, I know many are saying they believe this is what is going to end the show, that they're going to show a full on teaser trailer, not like we had with the first one, where you just saw a little bit of somewhere, that we may get a cinematic trailer, uh, which would be great because then at least we would get the tone and feeling of the game. Just think about what we got with the Elder Scrolls 5 and Skyrim with the cinematic. We knew there was dragons, we knew the feel of the country. We also knew that we were going to have the ability to dragon shout. I mean, all of that came out even in the cinematic trailer, which is very interesting. So, this is what I have to say about seeing the Elder Scrolls. At first, I said, no, absolutely no way. There's no way we're going to see it. And if you push me, I still lean that way. But hearing what other people are saying, I'm almost 50-50 now. I'm like, well, they make a good point. The one point that has been made that really pushes towards seeing the Elder Scrolls 6 is this. Answer me this question. If you can answer me this question, then maybe it doesn't mean Elder Scrolls 6 is coming. But why in the world? Why in the world did Bethesda reveal and shadow drop Oblivion just a month ago when June is sitting here waiting? If they didn't have anything to show at the Xbox Showcase, why in the world would they do that a month earlier? Wouldn't that be a huge thing for the Xbox Showcase to reveal Oblivion and shadow drop it? All they had to do was wait a month. Why did they do that so early? Did they do it early because they have something else to show Xbox? Well, I think it was Mr. Maddie that said that's what he thought, and that's what I've been feeling this whole time. Is just a weird time to drop Oblivion if you're not going to do anything in the Xbox Showcase. James says he believes the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be a 2026 game. Joey Caps Gaming also believes that. However, I have been on the record and I'm going to stand by it. I believe it's going to be a 2027 game. That's why I believe next year is the time for us to get trailers. I believe it's going to be a 2027, and they may break with tradition and do it if it's ready in the spring of 2027. I believe it's going to come out with the new consoles. That's just part of the deal. I think they're making it for the new generation of consoles. And if that's the case, obviously it's 2027. So that's my prediction for the Elder Scrolls 6. Now, again, nobody knows. There's not been a leak. There's not been even anybody even hidden that they know. So this is just my speculation, but I do. That's why I kind of lean to them not showing the Elder Scrolls tomorrow. If it's 2027, you don't want to do that again. You don't want to show it 2 years early, unless it's just the one little teaser trailer, and then you want to show more of the game next year. I understand that, but Todd loves those little short, and I know Todd's not in control anymore. Microsoft is, but you know, uh, no, I know Oblivion didn't need a showcase. That's not what I'm saying. It didn't need it at all. But if Bethesda Game Studios, Maryland, didn't have anything else to show, Xbox loves these shows to be a big boom. I mean, it wants that as great as anything. Now, did they think Oblivion would outshine the Outer Worlds 2? Is that why they did it early? Again, you may have an answer for the question why they did it. But unless you can come up with a good answer why they did it a month early, it just, if they didn't have anything else to show, why drop it a month early? Why not just do it during the Xbox showcase? Okay, I need to go back. I've missed stuff here. Could you imagine remastering Fallout 76 using the same methods that were used for Oblivion? That would be, I would love to see them do that. I would love them to see them once 76 runs its course to somehow leave the servers up. I don't know how they can do it, or make it a single player game once there's no more content coming back in it, and then remaster the graphics. I would love to see them do that. Again, that won't be in the next year or two, but something in the future. Absolutely can see them doing that. That would be great. Kane said, to answer the modding question, I don't see why that would be a problem. There are plenty of tools out there for modding games that use the Unreal. And I think I saw Jeremy saying that he's already seen people modding Oblivion. Yes, there's already Oblivion mods out there. The difference is they haven't released a creation kit. That's going to be the biggie, okay? If you mod Oblivion, and maybe some of you are modders out there can explain this to me, if the guts of the game or creation are the old creation engine, and the graphics are Unreal, can you mod it in either? Or do you have to mod in one or the other? Does that make sense? I mean, if you're doing a graphics mod, are you modding the Unreal? And if you're doing a mechanics mod, are you modding the creation? I mean, it throws all kinds of questions there. Yes, I know there's mods out there and people have figured it out, but you don't have the complexity of mods yet that Skyrim and games that are made just in the creation engine have, because for those, they release the creation kit for the game, and I mean, it's pretty easy to do. So Kyrios also said no shot for a TES 6 trailer. See, again, I'm 50-50. The only thing I don't know about is the Oblivion thing. There are too many games in the pipeline at Xbox, and Starfield hasn't showed off the Starfield DLC. See, I agree with that 1,000%. Starfield needs to be the one at this showcase making a big show. If they don't, Starfield's dead. They've got to. And the Elder Scrolls 6 would just outshine all of that. It would outshine Starfield. It's going to outshine Fallout 76. So I agree. There's no reason, if the Elder Scrolls 6 is coming late 2026, which I'm sure y'all that are saying 2026 believe it's going to be in the fall 2026, or as I say, it's not even coming till 2027, there is zero reason to release a trailer except this, Curios. Todd Howard and Bethesda Game Studios have been ridiculed because they released the trailer back when 2017. It was released in 2017, I believe, was when the Elder Scrolls 6 first released their trailer. Now, diehard fans know why they released that trailer. They released the trailer because they were releasing Fallout 76. The next game they were working on was Starfield. They wanted to assure fans that they were going back to their tried and true after that. That's all it was. And it wasn't even really a trailer. It was just to say, yes, we're working on it. Todd would have been better just to say, yes, we're still going to work on the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. But they did it that way. They wanted to be dramatic. But the thing is, it's been longer now since we got the Elder Scrolls trailer than it was in between Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls trailer. So Bethesda Game Studios has been ridiculed. So some of the ones that I see mentioning that they believe the Elder Scrolls is going to have a showing is because they want to get that monkey off their shoulders. But I would say if you do that 2 years early, you're going to just put another monkey on your shoulder. So why do it? Dale says 76 could run on a private home server. Yes, I know that's something they could do. I want to see them figure out how to do it. Whether it's that you have to have your own server, you create your own server or something. I want Fallout 76 to be a playable game. I hope it does not go away. JD says Phil said he has been hiding secrets on Twitter. We know there's always secrets. We're about to go over some of the other games in the second half of the show, so stick with us, please. Curio said only diehard fans pronounce. I can't say that word right now, but you know what it is. That Punxsutawney Phil's shadow means it's a 6 trailer. Yes. Hey, Queen, what do you want?
Just seeing what you're doing.
Hey, Miss Queen, y'all tell
Since
Queen
you didn't
hi.
want me on here today.
I did want you on here. There was just a lot to talk about, and you would interrupt.
So see, you better get your pillow and your blanket
and head to the couch.
You're sleeping on the couch tonight.
James asked, do you think ZeniMax Online Studios next game will be announced tomorrow? Yes, I was mentioning that at the first of the show. I absolutely do. And I'm the only one that I have heard go on record to say that I believe it's going to be a Starfield universe MMO. And I even believe it may be called Starborn. So yeah, I believe that will be ZeniMax's MMO. And to answer if they're going to show it tomorrow or not, it's time. It's really, really time. But it's up to if it's ready or not. JD says, why can't they just get a B team to release the cut content on Fallout 4, the underwater vault, the giant ghoul? You know, that is a whole other podcast, JD. But in my opinion, and I'm just a guy on the internet, my opinion, the way that Bethesda Game Studios manages their studios is crazy. They have a whole studio for mobile games, yet we haven't seen, well, yeah, the Elder Scrolls mobile game did come out. I was about to say we hadn't seen a mobile game in years, but it didn't do anything. The reason we have a whole studio is because Fallout Shelter has still made more money than anything. But the shame of it is you have a support studio in Dallas, you have a mobile studio in Montreal. That's 2 studios that fans don't really get anything out of. That is 2 whole studios that fans get nothing out of. Then you have a studio that's working on the multiplayer game, Fallout 76, which, by the way, they're not even doing that anymore. They're working on something else. So remember that. I don't think we're going to hear about it yet, but the Austin Bethesda Game Studios is the main part of Austin. Now, John Rush, some of the others are, but the main part of the Austin studio is not working on Fallout 76 anymore. Outside studios are doing that. It was all outside studios that did Skyline Valley and the fishing thing and all that. You've got 3 other studios, 3 other outside studios working on Fallout 76. So what is Bethesda Game Studios Austin working on? That's an interesting question. And back to that, why can't they just make a studio do this? Why do they not have at least an Elder Scrolls studio and a Fallout studio working all the time? I mean, that should just be duh, because those are the two games. I don't mind you working on a Starfield. I don't mind you doing a multiplayer Fallout. I don't mind you taking chances and doing these other things. But if it takes 14 years for a game to come out, then we do mind. 14 years, guys. I mean, if you're an Elder Scrolls fan and you don't play the Elder Scrolls Online like me, then you're just dying over here. 14 years. So why don't they have a studio that is dedicated to working on the next game? You got one studio, Maryland, that's working on the current game. Why don't you have another one that at least gets the other one going? You have a Fallout studio, you have an Elder Scrolls studio. And I know what Todd says, that people get tired of working on the same thing, but they work interchangeably with the other studios. So in other words, you get tired of working on Fallout, go work on the Elder Scrolls for a while. It just makes sense to me. And yes, I would love to see them when they redo Fallout 4 and get it fixed, that they would actually put in the old cut content. That would be great. Charles, what's going on? Charles says, what do you make of the now 500 head count at Bethesda versus the 120 at Skyrim? 100 during Oblivion, yep, 25 to 50 during Morrowind, considering each game having DLC as well. You think the 500 expedites? I would think that, Charles. However, the numbers of Bethesda went up, and I mean right immediately after Skyrim. And what happened after Skyrim? It seemed like timelines slowed way down. Even for Fallout 4. Fallout 4 came out in 2015. That's 4 years between. And you say, well, that's about normal for Bethesda. No, no, no. You go back to the Fallout 3 Oblivion, there was 2 years in between games. Two of their absolute best games they've ever done. And as you said, they had not even half the people they have today, and they got them out in 2 years. So as soon as numbers went up, timelines went down, which makes no sense. And since Fallout 4, you got Fallout 76 that came out. I guess you could say since Fallout 76, it took even extra long for Starfield. Now, I give them a pass. They were working on the creation engine, getting it upgraded. But again, you should have had a whole studio doing that while the other studio was working on the next game. So uh, I don't understand when you have 4 and 5 studios and you have the backing of Microsoft now, why numbers, and I'm talking about the number of years in between games, doesn't go down. It should go down. It should absolutely go down, but it hasn't. That's the shame of it. It hasn't. Now, will it? I don't know. Maybe it's as easy as, and I've said this before, I know some of y'all disagreed with me on this, but part of it, and this has been said, guys, by the ones that left Bethesda. So this is why I'm saying it, okay? This is not just my idea. When it was 100 people working in the same building who actually saw each other every day, knew each other by name, that was a much more conducive workplace than it is now. Now you have multiple studios. You talk to these guys who left, like Nate Perkapile, some of these guys, Jeff Gardner, they would be in meetings sometimes more than they were working. And they said by the time they left, there were all kinds of people there that they didn't even know who they were, maybe even somebody in their own department that they didn't even know their name. Plus, there were studios working outside the building. For a while, they had a hard time getting people to come back to work after COVID. They wanted to stay at home doing it. So I just believe it was much easier when you had people showing up for work, all in the same building, that knew each other's name. It was a better work environment than it is now. So you can really say Bethesda's success has hurt them a little bit. And it has. It absolutely has. Okay, Charles, by the way, if I miss your comment, please put it back on there. If you really want your comment read, put it on a super chat. I would appreciate that as well. Charles says Starfield was originally slated for 2022 and 2023 being a whole year of padding to catch up their release cycle. Yes, very true. I do want to mention this. I've mentioned it in other podcasts before, but it just has to be said. That year, what did Bethesda Game Studios do between 2022 and 2023 on Starfield? And this is key, guys. They were not adding stuff to Starfield. I mean, this is backed up by Phil Spencer himself. They were not adding content to Starfield. Yes, they were getting rid of bugs. They were trying to make it the smoothest release that Bethesda's ever had, and I think they did that. But also what they did, they took content out of the game. Just think about that. We could have had the game a year sooner with more content. Now we would have gotten more bugs, but hey, we Bethesda fans are used to that. They literally took content out, and I believe Starfield really suffered because it had content taken out. I mean, one of the huge downfalls of Starfield is you only have just a certain number of points of interest, and you keep going to the same one over and over and over, no matter what planet you're on. You know, so there you go. Kane says there were games shown at the Summer Games Fest that had studios with less than 50 people working. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Jeremy says the more people, the more you have to check. I agree with that as well. James says, like the law of diminishing returns, which states increasing a certain point of production slows it down. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Okay, I want to move on to some of the other games. If y'all want to keep talking Bethesda, I fully understand on my channel, and I will go right back to it. Let me tell you a few of the other games I expect to be there, and some of them I really want to be there, and I'm excited for. Uh, One is a remake, and this one I probably put, other than any of the Bethesda games, number 2 or 3 on my list as wanting to hear from it and see from it. And that is Assassin's Creed, I believe it's 4, Black Flag. They are doing a remake of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and hopefully we'll get to hear something about it tomorrow. If not, it'll be next year because we know they are working on it. But I'm not a huge Assassin's Creed fan, but Black Flag is my absolute favorite of the series. If you've never played it, I believe you would like it. If you like Bethesda games, I believe you would absolutely like it. So they are doing that remake. Also, Persona 4 remake is another remake that I'm excited for. Now, it's not my type of game, but I am gonna try it and I am gonna play it. Uh, and that's something we probably should hear about. I'm giving y'all some probablys before I go to the ones I know is going to be there. Uh, I think we'll likely, or it'll be next year, hear something about Halo. I mean, Halo, I don't see, if we do hear something substantial about Halo, I don't see why it's not the main game. There's some of these that I'm about to mention that I truly believe they would have been the main game, other not the Outer Worlds, okay, if they were ready to go. Halo's one of them. Call of Duty is another one. There's a sequel to Black Ops that is in the works. I think we'll hear something from these, but I think there's not going to be a major reveal until next year. Uh, Also, I put Gears of War in that. Gears of War E-Day, that's one I'm excited for, but I believe this game is going to be a next year game. All of these that I just mentioned, I believe we're not going to get in our hands until next year, 2026. So that's why I believe the Outer Worlds is put up sooner because it's a 2025 game. If you remember, not last year, but year before last, when they did Starfield, every game they showed was supposed to come out that year. Now it didn't work that way, but that's what they want to do. They want things that are coming out very, very, very soon. Uh, with that said, will we see Horizon 6? Maybe, maybe not. I think again it's a 2026 game. Uh, the ones that we know are going to be there. Let's see. There's that Ninja. What is it? Ninja something 4. That's going to be there. Uh, Probably Gears of War. State of Decay 3 is probably going to be there. If Contraband's not there, you can probably just say Contraband's never coming because they announced that thing years ago. I just mentioned State of Decay. It was announced in 2020. So come on, we're in 2025. It's time to do something to State of Decay. Everwild is another one. I'm just going through these quick, and then I'll get to y'all's questions to finish the show. Everwild, it was also announced in 2019. So please, surely it's coming. Here's a big one that everybody's talking about, Fable. Are we going to see anything from Fable? Fable is another one. If they were ready to really show Fable, I believe it would have been put ahead of the Outer Worlds 2. What do y'all think about that? I just think it's bigger than the Outer Worlds Fable. So we might see something from it, but again, I think next year is the year for Fable. Perfect Dark. We're definitely going to see Perfect Dark because we actually saw gameplay last year. If you don't know anything about Perfect Dark, it reminds me of the Dishonored universe. It really does. It's got that steampunk vibe again, like Clockwork Revolution does. Then we probably should see something from Double Fine Studio, even though we don't know what game they're working on. It's been 4 years since their last game, so we definitely should see something from them. Those are the ones I really wanted to mention and talk about. Is there others that you're excited about for tomorrow? Again, I'm looking mainly at the Bethesda games and the Outer Worlds, Clockwork Revolution, and Assassin's Creed 4. That's the ones I'm mainly looking at. I would love if Fable came. I like Gears of War series, so there's some others that I'm interested in. Perfect Dark. I I am definitely going to play Perfect Dark. It looks like definitely up my alley since I like Dishonored. So let me know in the remaining 10 minutes of the show, is there any games that you're looking forward to seeing tomorrow that I haven't mentioned, or maybe ones that I have that you would like to talk about for a moment? Okay, where was I? I think I'm up to Charles again. He says, exactly. I'm of the mind that the DLC was originally a part of the core game that was extracted. Yes, Shattered Space, absolutely 100%. 100%. I do believe that too. Charles also said, I think that's what ticked people off, and that's why they left, some of the devs. Oh, great. Lady Braven says Black Flag. Yes, she likes Black Flag too. Kane says Perfect Dark is for sure a release soon. Absolutely. And James says, do you think Marvel Blade will be shown tomorrow? I mentioned that earlier in the show as well, James. I believe next year is the year for Blade. I really don't think we'll see anything unless it is a cinematic trailer. It's not ready. That's the point. It's not ready to go. I think Microsoft is going to focus on games that are coming out 2025 or early 2026. I think that's what they're going to try to focus on. Now, will we see teasers from games like Fable? You know, some of these games that are not going to be there. Well, again, we had that 1 year where everything Microsoft showed was for that year. But mostly what Microsoft has done has been showed games way too early. So I don't know about y'all. I would rather them show the ones that are coming up right now. I mean, yes, I get excited. I would be excited to see an Elder Scrolls trailer, but we know it's not coming this year. So, let's focus on that when it comes. I'm of the Todd Howard philosophy, announcing right before release. So that's what I think. Okay, out of what we've talked about today, y'all, please let me know. We've got about 7 minutes left for the chat. Uh, what you're excited about, what games you're most excited about. If there's anything I didn't cover, I tried to really go in depth on Bethesda and a few of the games that I was interested in. Believe it or not, an hour passes so quick when you're doing something like this. You try to get everything in, but you're really not able to. So y'all just let me know. Astra says, I want new Starfield DLC. Amen, Astra. I'm going to say it again just for emphasis. Starfield has to have a DLC shown at this summer deal because That game is dying, guys. The game is dying right before our eyes. They've only had one update this year, and the last DLC was not received well. That's my doggy. Hey, Candy Cane. Shh. That's my little black doggy. She wanted to be on the show. Um, with the last DLC not received well, they really need a very, 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 very good trailer. Candy Cane, come here. Come here. I'm gonna let everybody see you. Come here. Maybe you'll quit barking. There's my Candy Cane. This is actually Queen's dog, but she adopted me. So, Dane, thank you. Welcome to the King's Crew. The Dane. Dane joined as a member of the channel. Y'all do not know. Yeah, I can't express, guys. I try to do this as a main supplement to my living. The only other living I make, I pastor a very, very, very small church. So this is what I try to do to feed my family. So you guys that support by money, I know everybody can't, but those that are Patreons, those that are members of the channel, those that give in super chat, y'all don't know how special y'all are, and y'all just get us through. So Dale, thank you for that. I'm gonna get Queen back on working on those T-shirts, so you'll get a King's Crew T-shirt, and we are going to have a special members only uh, live stream coming up very soon. I hope my health stays good and we can do that. Um, let's see. So Astra said, I want a new Starfield DLC, and honestly, I would like to see a sequel to Grounded. It is actually a really good Obsidian game. Yes, it is. It is. I haven't played it much, but I did try it. I wanted to try it. Kane says, I talked about this in my last video, but I believe we are going to get Fallout 3 Remaster this year. And I think it will release alongside season 2 of the Fallout TV show. I don't doubt that at all. I definitely see that as a possibility. And of course, that is December. And if it is December, then yes, absolutely, we might see a trailer for Fallout 3. Wouldn't that be amazing, guys? That would absolutely be amazing. Just remember, and I think there's a reason they did this. The Fallout TV show said they are expecting 5 or 6 years for the TV show. So we've got a Fallout remake with Fallout 3. Hey, Candy Cane. We've got a Fallout spinoff coming. We've also got, I believe, Fallout New Vegas coming, remaster, and then Fallout 5. And I think they really want to fit all of that into the window of the 6 seasons of the TV show. So to do that, they got to get really, really busy. Jeremy said that the membership to the channel is less than a Starbucks coffee a month. That is absolutely right. Thank you, Jeremy, for saying that. And you're another wonderful member who has been a member for a long time. Uh, if it's not me that y'all support, go support your favorite YouTuber, because I'm telling you, this is a lot more work than you think it is, especially with my health. It's a lot of work. And it's what keeps them coming back. I know it looks kind of easy, and if you just did 1 or 2, it would be easy. But go support. If it's not me, go support your favorite YouTuber, either by channel member, by Patreon, or by the super chats. Really do that if you can, if you're able, when you can, when you're able, do that. JD says, hoping for a new Wolfenstein. Man, I would love that. But however, Machine Games has been super busy on. And by the way, if you have not played the Indiana Jones game, you need to play it. Hey, would you quit panting into the microphone? If you haven't played the new Indiana Jones game, great game. Machine Games did so good. I love Machine Games. I put them right up there with Arcane Studio. They're fabulous. And I love the Wolfenstein series. Wolfenstein 3 has been leaked for a long time. Is it in full development? I believe it is now. Do I believe it's ready to show, JD? I don't. But I would love for them to surprise me. The reason I don't ever say matter of facts anymore, I want you to think about some of the time that Bethesda Game Studios have waited. You would not think they would wait that long. But then look at Obsidian. Obsidian put out Grounded, they put out Avowed, and they put out The Outer Worlds almost back to back to back to back. Avowed and The Outer Worlds is literally coming out back to back. How did they do it? I don't know. And some think they're already working on a Fallout spinoff. So, could Machine Games have part of their people working on a Wolfenstein? I would love that. I would absolutely love a Wolfenstein. Curio says we got a Game of Thrones game announced yesterday. Yes, that game looks amazing. It is a what is it? RTS? How do you say it? But I'm really excited for that game. And the Game of Thrones is over. TV shows are made quickly. Yes, I know what you're saying, Curious. The reason I said they want to get it into that 6-year schedule is because Microsoft saw what the TV show did for the old. I'm about to take you out, I promise. Okay, just wait 2 more minutes. Can you wait 2 minutes? Microsoft saw what the Fallout TV show did to RTS. I thought it was to the older games. When the series came out, 76 hit the highest numbers it ever had. Fallout 4 hit numbers above Fallout 76. So they know if they have a game that's coming out during that TV show, it's just going to help the game. That's why I said that. Charles said that's why I think Elder Scrolls 6 is 2026. If Obsidian launching 2 pretty big games in 1 year, Bethesda can do it in 3. You would think so. Guys, I have enjoyed the hour so very much. Dale, welcome to the King's Crew. Thank you again for being a member. If y'all didn't see the whole broadcast, please go back and watch it all. We cover all of the Bethesda and Bethesda Game Studios games that we may see tomorrow, and we covered a big chunk of what else is going to be at the Xbox Showcase as well. Please like the video before y'all go away. It helps the video and it helps the channel. I appreciate y'all more than y'all know. God bless you. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. If y'all hadn't watched my last 2 videos, go back and watch those too. Bye, everybody. Thank you for being here. All right, let's go.